Hello, I'm EK, he's DAZAI, and we're here again to talk about Pinoy comics. Okay. The story we're going to talk about right now is one of the most notorious um stories that deal with the third wheel and a messy kind of love. Okay. This is Uy, si Crush. Hey, the Crush. Okay, yeah. Okay. By Richard Mercado and Gaby Taylo. Okay, both of them. So both of them worked out the story, and then Richard Mercado did most of the illustrations, but I think Gaby Taylo also helped with some of them. Okay. Okay. The story goes like this. Isai, who is rather pretty, has a big crush on Juan, who she met some time back. Juan helped him with her things, and since then, Isai liked Juan very much. Conversely, Juan also likes Isai very much. Who wouldn't? She's very cute and she's also quite nice, diba? So it's rather understandable. But however, the problem is Juan thinks he's very, very average. So he doesn't think he's Isai material. He doesn't think that Isai has a right to like him. He even gives the very epic introduction of himself that when it was given, it was mind-blowing when it came out, just to show how average he was. Okay. So because of this, so Isai likes Juan likes Isai. This should be straightforward, right? No, the problem is both of them are misunderstanding things, and in the way of this culture of Pinoys, they would rather not talk about it. They would rather think about it instead of discussing it with the person in front of them. They just keep thinking and misunderstanding things until the misunderstanding keeps barreling over and getting worse and worse. So this is what happened with both of them. Juan kept thinking that Isai really likes Cassie, who is Juan's friend. Isai, however, keeps getting annoyed that Cassie is always there. It gets confusing that way. And meanwhile, Juan really thinks that Isai likes Cassie, so he keeps bringing Cassie along because Cassie is this cute guy, possible crush ng bayan, and so there must be a mistake somewhere. So maybe the Isai really likes Cassie, so he just wants to be in the air where Isai is. It doesn't matter to him if it's really Cassie that she likes. So that's how the situation gets confusing. Meanwhile, Cassie doesn't know what to do with himself with this messy situation. And as you may find out as the chapters roll along, Cassie completely likes someone else. He doesn't want to be involved in this mess. So yun. So that's the basic story of this. Okay, yun. What made this story very memorable when it came out is, besides the slightly unusual comic style that Richard Mercado has, is the fact that how between both creators, the thoughts and emotions of both characters were revealed, and how they kept confusing this situation until they kept worrying too much, while you just keep giggling at them for misunderstanding. But you also understand how this got to this big mess, because in our culture, diba, you'd rather not talk about it. You'd rather just worry over it because we're all scared of not being polite to the other person. So our being polite has its good points and weak points, and this is very well revealed in this story. Okay, so yeah. So between those two things, the very smart understanding of inner emotions and the slightly unusual presentation and the sharp use of comedy. This leads to a very memorable and likable series. It was first presented on Facebook as a series. A good number of the pages were updated and revised for the PenLab version compared to the first version that first came out on FB and on the as printed versions on Comic Con. So the story remains the same, but a good number of the panels were reworked. The pacing of the plot and the story was rather changed a little bit, but not so very much. Just to make the story move smoother and the confusion a little more understandable for the reader, but otherwise it's the same story, okay? But if you were one of those people who read this comic when it first came out, some of the scenes were shuffled around in the PenLab version, so you might be a little confused, but a lot of the important panels remain the same, okay? So yun. So Cassie is likable, and keep following this story so you'll understand why Cassie, despite his being so quiet, has problems of his own regarding this confusion between Isai and Juan. Isai is very likable in how she has this very, very big crush on this guy, and Juan, you understand why Juan doesn't think he's worthy, but diba, it's nice to see that someone doesn't have to be very, very handsome to be admired, diba? Someone just has to be a good person, diba? It's a good reason to be liked, okay? So please like this series. It's available on PenLab. The original versions may still be available on FB. Just just search for the name, and yeah. And again, I'm EK. He's DAZAI. Please continue to read. Please continue to enjoy Pinoy comics. Thank you.